Our tour is heading southeast to a land divided by the Ohio River. On one side, we pass Cincinnati, a city defined by a one-of-a-kind skyline, rolling hills, and the oldest of America's pastimes. Just down the road, we cross into Kentucky, to the town of Burlington as we gear up for one of the toughest challenges on tour thus far. From its iconic sloped fairways to tight greens, Idlewild can bring out the best or worst in your game. And with the Worlds right around the corner, it's the perfect Kentucky tune-up as championship season approaches. The 2024 LWS Open at Idlewild starts now.
Hello and welcome to the 2024 LWS Open presented by Dynamic Disc and the Natty. We are at Idlewild Disc Golf Course, finally in the woods in beautiful Kentucky. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the two hot geese.
Honk. Honk, honk.
Honk. Yeah, love the woods. The coolest, nicest weather I've ever seen out here, honestly.
Yeah,
it was lovely.
It was lovely. We had a pretty brutally hot practice round week. Real quick before we get started, all of the World's action will be available live on the Disc Golf Network and post-produced day after on Jomez, just like normal. If you are a Jomez subscriber, though, you do get 75% off on your first month of DGN using code JomezPro. So please come hang with us. Come watch Worlds live. Come hang with us the day after, all that stuff.
Yeah, Worlds right around the corner. Holyn Handley, last week's winner, 79% fairway hit, 66% Circle 2 in regulation this season, 78% Circle 1X putting.
Yeah, a nice 2024 for Holyn.
Yeah.
Scoggins, not so bad herself, 79% fairway hits, 60% of the time giving herself a Circle 2 putt for birdie, 82% of her Circle 1X putts dropping.
Tying for second last week, I believe, at Ledgestone. Missy Gannon, 82% fairway hits, 66% Circle 2 in regulation, and 75% C1X putting so far this 2024 season.
I think Owen got second place at Idlewild last year as well. Raven Klein, 72% fairway hits, 51% Circle 2 in regulation, 68% Circle 1X putting. And excited to watch Raven Klein on the feature card this week.
Yeah, she has some amazing flex lines that should be really fun to watch.
Let's get started. Hole 1, one of the more open holes on this course. It's 638 feet, gettable by everybody in the field, out of bounds all the way down this long fairway. Looks skinny on the graphic, but it's actually got plenty of room to work. You can get super aggressive off the tee if you want. Make yourself have a nice little, much shorter approach to the green. This basket is elevated and perched on the edge of a steep hill that rolls towards out of bounds behind the basket. And that's where the hole gets tough, is just that big tree on the right.
First up in the 10 o'clock pairing out of Los Angeles, California, Scoggins.
You are correct that Owen got second last year. She shot a 5 down to jump 5 places to get second place.
Whoa.
And 5 down was the second best score we saw last year. The best score being a 6 down from Miss Madison Walker. A course record, people.
Yeah, it still holds.
Honk.
Honk. I wonder, do you think we'll see someone breaking 6 this year?
I
think we could.
I think we could, because it's just so much nicer than normal. Barely any wind. You're not just sweating and dying like normal. It's possible. There's no rain.
Up second out of Grapevine, Texas, Holyn Handley.
Yeah, this tournament does tend to have a lot of weather delays. We've seen some really nasty storms roll through during tournament days. But this weekend, the forecast looks great. And it's supposed to cool off as the weekend moves on as well.
Holyn shooting a -3 in the last round to jump up 4 spots and get third last year. She's had so many podiums in the last 2 years just for playing for, 5 years maybe? 4 years? Crazy.
Third on the featured card out of Burnsville, Minnesota, Raven Klein.
Raven's season definitely on the up and up. She just gets better every week. She's got really consistent finishes.
She's going Fusion Raider to start. And as long as that fades, that looks perfect.
She is our Dynamic Disc sponsored player.
Rounding out the feature card at 10 a.m. out of Beacon, New York, Missy Gannon.
Missy, it looks like, tied for 10th at this event last year. This is an interesting event. There's 4 unique winners in the last 4 years, and then Paige Pierce won it before that. Last year, Valerie Mandujano won, but she is not playing. We're not sure why. Oh, Missy overturning this.
She's going to be
Pushing
playing with the OB line, but
It's close with that tree.
oh,
Dang. Tough start. It's not the easiest scramble from over there. Okay, so check this out from Statmando. Holyn, Missy, and Own are kind of battling at the top of the Pro Tour rankings, which is important as we get closer to the finale. Great shot from Own there. They've played so well that the scores that they are going to be dropping as the year goes on are top 10 finishes.
that's wild.
Isn't that crazy?
Just podiuming every weekend at minimum.
It's crazy.
That is crazy. You can see Missy leaving this one a little bit short. She's going to have to contend with that big guardian tree that Own threw a really great shot going right under the branches. Raven trying to do the same here.
Smooth looking approach, little standstill from Raven.
Yeah, coming in on the short side, just the perfect speed.
Looking comfortable.
Holyn way down here.
Yeah. Ooh, uh-oh. There's OB over there.
Yeah, a little bit of a misfire. Ooh, it checks up just in the nick of time. That tall grass is all out of bounds.
You usually see some mean rollaways on this one, with the OB just kind of deep and to the right.
Missy not able to even try to get a look at the basket. Those branches are so thick. She's going to have to settle for a double, right?
Bogey.
Bogey.
All in for a birdie. She's outside the circle. Risky putt if she misses, but that's the good miss. As long as it doesn't pick up in slow roll. Raven with a nice, comfortable start.
About a quarter of the field birdied this hole. Plays in the middle of the pack on difficulty. There were 12 birdies on the day.
Yeah, this course can really get the better of you, and this is the most open hole that you're going to see all day. So you really want to get this one if you can.
There were 44 competitors this weekend. Everyone had statisticians, so we can go full bore on stats, yes.
Nerd.
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of people got that one, as
Yeah.
Madison said.
It's one that you do want to kind of pack away. The back nine is so much more brutal here.
It can all be brutal.
That's true.
Hole 2 is a par 4, 509 feet. There's an OB creek line on the left, so you want to throw a backhand turnover, which can be risky if you hyzer out too early, or a sidearm. You want to get as far up this hill as you can. The water, actually just off the pond, there's an OB line, so you either lay up and try to get a par, or you go across on your second trying to get the birdie. We had this short pin last year as well, and it really, I think, is a delightful change. It makes it so everyone's going for this. It played well over par when it was in the long position, and it's still going to force a lot of layups. It's not a gimme, but it's doable.
Definitely not. It's a really great hole for the FPO field, even at their current skill level that's constantly rising.
Own taking what I think the safer play, the forehand. You're going to have a tougher upshot, but you're not going to mess with that OB line. Oh, check this out.
Yeah, Raven getting aggressive here.
Wow.
Making it over that ditch where that kind of collects a lot of discs and makes it really tough to go for it. Like Erika said, it's uphill and you have to push forward after cresting the hill. So if you can land on the other side where we see Holyn and Raven kind of getting up near, it's a lot easier to go for it.
As long as you're not in the rock pile down there, you can go for it. Missy going backhand. Captain Thrasher, that's looking good. Yeah, everyone kind of in the same spot. All really good drives, but definitely decision time.
Own decides to go across the water, not going super aggressive at the basket, giving herself a long putt. This is a scary green. That basket is right on the edge of a slope that comes up really quick out of bounds. What, 20 feet?
Yeah.
On some sides, 25 maybe.
Whoa.
Oops.
Yeah, Holyn with that kind of running uphill, throws nose up. Not sure where they're going to give her the mark on that one. It is out of bounds. So difficult to throw a flat shot when you're running uphill. I do really like the standstill.
Yeah, as long as you get over that bush, which Raven does easily, she's going to have a putt, I think. Did not get there?
It's close. It's close. Ooh.
One thing that's really awesome about Idlewild is the amount of volunteers out here. Every hole has a spotter, and sometimes two.
Sometimes four.
Yeah, it's really unbelievable. This tournament is awesome. They've been putting it on for a while, and you can tell everyone really enjoys coming out. It's also some of the best spectating. A nice approach from Missy Gannon.
Holyn having to take it from the short side. Best she can do is a bogey.
Not doing great at math today.
We're here.
We showed up. Idlewild is a wooded course. That's already hard enough. And then add a bunch of hills, and then it's pretty hot. We're fried.
What a good run from Raven. At the very least, you can tell she does yoga.
Oh, and looking straight at the water.
She doesn't even see it. Oh, God. Okay, wait. Uh-oh. That's uncharacteristic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I really thought she was going to make it.
She didn't even hit metal.
Yeah.
Taking her meter in. Thankfully, she's pretty close to the basket at this point.
Erdogi.
Yeah, that putter might be gone.
Always weird to lose your putting putter.
Right?
You want to retire it on your own terms, with respect.
After a ton of air balls right because it's too flippy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Respect and reluctance.
Mm-hmm.
And hole 2, variety of scores here.
Yeah, really showing our feature card what's up. 30% of the field getting the birdie, 13 out of 44 competitors. We have 2 bogeys on our feature card. Missy working her way back to even par.
Cat Merch, the only competitor to go 2 for 2.
Yeah. Hole 3, a new-ish hole on the course. There was talks of there being a short pad installed or maybe a short pin location because this is kind of out of reach for the FPO field to birdie. 656 feet, but the shape of the hole is what makes it so difficult to access. It's a big U shape. There is out of bounds on the left-hand side and right-hand side. Doesn't really come into play, but it does keep people from trying the roller, which I think would be an awesome play on this hole if you have it. But it's just a little too risky. That second shot, too, is often pretty pinched, so you can't really attack the green. You're more just trying to go around the one big guardian tree on the corner.
Wow, Missy throwing this about as well as you can. That's gorgeous.
It's one of those par 4s where you can have one bad shot and still par it.
Mm-hmm. We very rarely see birdies here, though.
Mm-hmm.
There was not just talks of a short tee pad. There was an official email. They were gung-ho about it.
Yeah, this is a public park, and I guess working with the Parks Department can get a little funky sometimes. But this just didn't happen.
Yeah, but this one in hole 10 should have shorter ones to make it more scoreable next year, ideally.
Mm-hmm.
Owen going forehand, which is a great play if you miss those trees, and she does.
So being a little bit shorter like Owen is and more right, you can kind of attack a little easier. There's that big guardian tree has more of a gap on the right side that you can play aggressively, but it is risky.
Yeah, there's a mandatory there that you sure can miss. Mm-hmm. Keeps you honest. Holyn catching that center tree, kicking to the right. We should probably talk about kind of what's a good score out here. Anything under par is absolutely phenomenal. Yep. Even par usually scores really well at Idlewild. By we, I meant me. You don't get to say anything.
Yeah, even par, I think, was top. If you shot even par, you were in 4th place last year.
Oh, wow. Let me check. I believe you. It's probable.
I think there was only 4 people under par, or 3
Oh, there's
people
3
under par.
people under par last year. Even par was a tie for 4th. Wow, look at you, mathing. Yeah, even par for the tournament was 978 rated. And there was tougher conditions last year, so there's that. But still.
So you can see Own still deciding to work her way. Oh, actually, no, she's going under the tree branch. High ceiling, low floor situation, so really hard to get big distance, but she's still down almost in putting range.
Probably an Own range. Hard to do that much better. Here's Missy taking that gap to the left of the mandatory that we were talking about.
And this is the only way to access any sort of green.
So good.
She's on the circle's edge-ish.
Yeah, she's looking at a putt.
That right side, it puts you on the right side, though, and there's a lot more guardian trees over there. It can make putting a lot more difficult and sometimes impossible. Raven's third, going up and over the tall grass.
I like that she gave it some height. It's easy to get stuck in there. And she'll have a chance to save a par. Holyn lining up the left side hyzer. There's also a right side hyzer backhand versus the forehand that is very doable, but Holyn makes quick work of that.
Yeah, those right side trees get in the way quick, I feel like.
They can. Yeah, it's just kind of nice to not be in those bushes.
Yeah.
You could see how many people have been in there. Look at that one. Trampled.
Angry trampled.
Yeah. Own just chipping up for a par here. Missy, look for a birdie. I feel like it's rare. Maybe it's not.
It's
Everyone's getting
definitely
good.
rare.
Okay.
Yeah, Missy was one of only 3 people to get to circle 2 in regulation.
Okay.
No one got to circle 1.
Oh, yes, Raven.
Wow. What a par save.
Wow, she's looking very calm for being on feature card. Sometimes that'll mess with you.
This played as the 5th most difficult hole of the day. There were no birdies. You can see Holyn, one of the best in the sport right now.
Slacking.
Just taking the 4, moving on. Not a lot of bogeys, though. This is a 1. Like I said, you can throw a bad shot and still par it really easily.
Okay, well, you can also bogey it really easily, so.
You can. But it's almost 70% of the field par.
Oh, my God.
I know.
Guess what score I took?
We don't have to talk about it. Yes.
Love the slow-mo.
What
Nice
an
little
angle.
jumper. Straddle jumper from Raven.
Introducing Disc Raptor, the best way to clean and dry your discs on the course. Make short work of mud, moisture, and dust in a quick spin. It's there when you need it. Welcome to the future of disc golf.
Hole 4 is a par 5, only 722 feet, so very gettable. I think we've seen some eagles here in the past. You throw from out of bounds over a pond. It's only about 220 to clear, but you're throwing a bit uphill. Most women going to lay up, if not all, short here. You want to get to the flat and try to position yourself in the middle. There's a lot of trees and a lot of small gaps. The farther you are into the gap, the easier the final approach shot across another pond. It's really easy to leave that approach shot short and then have a really difficult kind of tunnel to get through on the final approach.
Let's do a check-in with Deanne Carey. Getting some good distance off the tee, and that's so important if you are eyeing up the the eagle here. She's got a little chip shot to the gap that Erika was just talking about, and she is dead center. That's perfect.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, never mind.
I mean, it honestly is good, though. It's so hard to be perfect. But there is more room than you think. Like, you can go another 30 feet and still be fine.
Deanne putting a little too much turn on that disc, but she is putting close to the OB line.
Oh, sweet jump putt to get the birdie, Deanne.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah, 2 down through 4. Working hard for that birdie.
Back to the feature card. Missy Gannon first on the tee. That tree line on the right is out of bounds. Missy really pushing it.
I do think the right side OB is a bit tighter this year.
Yeah, it definitely is. I haven't even noticed it in years past.
Yeah, it used to be no tall grass past that big tree you see on the right. Now it's on the left side of that tree.
It's all the tall grass.
Yeah.
Raven messing around.
Yeah, just a bit. I mean, it looks like some good fade. Fusion X trespass for Raven.
Owen with a nice hyzer out to the middle.
And that's all you need.
Yeah, you don't have to get crazy here.
Let's see if Holyn gets crazy, though.
She would.
I think so, right?
Mm-hmm. She's got it.
I'm pretty sure we've seen eagles, but
Yeah, we definitely
not
have.
in a while.
I think we saw a couple last year.
So not in a whole year.
Owen doing the opposite of what most people do here. I thought she would chip beforehand. She is backhand to the opening, really pushing the edge of the hill. That's great.
Oh, yeah, look. Holyn eagled it in round 3 last year. Look at that. Okay, she was the only one to eagle it last year. So we were both right. And Raven doing a good job of getting it a little bit more into the gap than you think you need to.
Holyn has a gap here, but decides against going for it.
I'm surprised.
Me too. Oh, it is not the greatest.
It's not, but also
She likes
not
to
the
do
best
stuff like
layup.
that.
Yeah.
Missy definitely with a short layup, but she does have a gap.
Yeah, a bit tricky. Yeah. Boy, that's like a
no.
carbon copy of what I did. That gap is pointed right at those last set of trees before getting over the water.
And then Missy's probably going to have to take it from the short side. It's a
Definitely.
really weird landing zone down there.
It's horrible. Raven in the bullseye looking at another birdie. Holyn's third. I guess it makes sense. She doesn't have a birdie yet. She doesn't need to go nuts today.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. I just want to see the eagle,
Yeah,
obviously. Who
of
doesn't?
course. Owen up and on the edge of the circle for putting for birdie as well. 30 competitors out of 44 got at least to circle 2 for the birdie.
Missy, at least not with any trees in her way. Pitches up a little short, it looked like.
Yeah, Missy will be the first to putt.
Oh, yeah, outside the circle. For bogey. Gonna be a double for Missy.
Owen up next for another birdie. Oh, man.
We'll see if her putt settles. That was a longer circle 1 putt. Holyn for her first birdie of the round. Cashes in.
Holyn, one of 14 birdies on the day today. There was also one eagle.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
Tell me.
Natalie Ryan got this one.
Such a good get.
I really don't
So
like
rare.
how they don't say whether it was from circle 1 or 2 on the par 5s, but really nice tap-in birdie for Raven Klein from the bullseye. That feels great.
Raven leading the way in a tie for first with Natalie Ryan and Deanne Carey at 2 down through 4.
Moving on to the very treacherous hole 5, especially today. We had a straight headwind. There's out of bounds on the right side with that sidewalk, and then, of course, the water on the left-hand side. This hill is steeper in person than it is in the video, and it looks pretty dang steep in this video. It's the shape of the fairway really makes it difficult to attack without throwing a super risky shot to get to this green. And then on top of all of that, the basket is elevated. You could feel...
Just for extra fun.
Yeah, you could feel the headwind is mostly off the tee. Once you got to the green, I didn't notice it. but it was very stiff when my card came through.
It was all day, I think. Raven, turning that trespass over a little bit, that's definitely the wind. Yeah, if you turn one over, it's easy to find that pathway.
Yep. Discs just don't want to come back. Holyn doing the risky play. A big hyzer,
Ooh.
checking up beautifully. You have to have so much distance to do that play.
Yeah, that was an ESP Force. Pure hyzer. You got to have, about 400 feet of power.
Yeah.
And Own with the flex forehand, she's birdied this plenty of times in the past with this play, and it's so smart to fade away from the water. Not a lot of FPO have that shot dialed like Own does.
Yeah, and she's got the distance as well. With an overstable disc on a flex like that, sometimes it takes a ton of distance away.
Yeah.
Missy's shot looks great.
Yeah, more of kind of a straight shot, wow, than Holyn's. Oh, that's so good. Beautiful. That one only needed 375 feet of power on that line.
For real, though.
Truly a difficult shot. You think you pipe it and then you barely get into circle 2 sometimes. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
This is also a difficult layup. Raven makes that look easy, but it can be scary. You got to get your disc to land perfectly flat and with almost no speed. Own saying, do I want to run this? She's had some issues on the putting green today.
Yeah, I think if she had made those 2 putts we've seen her miss, she would have gone for it. Holyn for another birdie.
Nice.
Wow, great extension there, getting in on the elevated basket.
That was from 28 or 30 feet.
Yeah, and uphill a little bit. Missy.
Yeah, having a rough day so far. Thankfully, a par is good on this. It's fine. This is not a hole that's birdied very often. There was only 3 birdies today out of 44 competitors.
Yeah, just missing from just outside the bullseye can sometimes shake you. We'll see if she can shake it off. +1 is fine out here right now.
The other 2 birdies besides Holyn were Maria Oliva and Rebecca Cox, both from Circle 1. Rebecca was on my card. It was a sick drive.
Holyn going to slide into a tie for 4th with that birdie on 4 and 5. Hole 6 is a par 4, 555 feet. There's an OB creek line on the left. It's very wiggly. Backhand turnover or a sidearm is the play. You want to get as close to this big, beautiful fairy tree as you can. Usually you land well short of that, and then you're picking left side or right side of it on the second shot, and then laying up. Very rarely do you see anyone actually go for the green on the second. It's doable with an absolutely perfect drive, but for the most part, lady's going to lay up short and have a longer putt for the birdie. Avoid the OB pet cemetery at the end.
Yeah, this is another hole where you're throwing a distance drive and a very technical one at that, or a very long forehand, and you're trying to place it at the perfect gap in order to get it all the way to the green. And it's just really difficult to do. You're wanting to avoid that squiggly OB on the left-hand side and find like a 15-foot gap.
Wiggly and squiggly. Squirrely even.
Oh, no.
And this is why I personally don't like the backhand play. So easy to make that mistake. Looks like Raven's going to check up safe. I really like the sidearm here. It was a kind of a right to left wind, at least when I came through.
Yep.
And a little bit headwind. So a lot of these just kind of pushing straighter than we're used to.
Yeah, it did help sidearms get really great distance.
It did.
This is another one that there just aren't that many birdies on.
Yeah, but we used to go from that short tee pad as a par 3, so this is way better. And Missy, similar mistake as Raven, cut rolling and finding OB.
This is a pretty brutal start for Missy.
But again, I mean, she's battling. She got that birdie. She was close on the last one.
Yeah, she's got great mental game, and she knows that at this course, even par, we said, was in 4th place last year. So sometimes you take your bogeys in the first 5 holes. That's just how it works.
Raven putting a lot of power on this, but catching... Was that the main tree?
Yeah, one of the early ones. Thankfully, it drops down. That's one. If you throw really hard, you can find that OB creek on the left really fast.
Wow, Owen with such a great drive does catch one little tree on the approach, but she'll be jump putting for a birdie. Holyn in an amazing position as well. The right side's definitely a bit more open, except for that tree. They both hit it.
The one to miss. Still in circle 2?
Yeah.
Question mark?
Looks
Okay.
like, or close. Jump putting anyway. And Missy leaving that one pretty short. I'm sure she wanted a closer putt from there for bogey.
Yeah. It's also a scary approach. You really kick yourself if you slide in OB from the short side.
Oh, yeah. Raven, perfect job. But even with that outside the circle, looking at a par. Holyn, really long look for birdie just outside circle 2. Oh, pretty. I liked it.
It's hard to run at this one as aggressively as you normally would because that OB comes up maybe 20 feet behind the basket.
Yeah, I think a bit less.
From Missy's angle, it's not something you're worried about. She's giving it a good bid. She's going to have to settle for another double. Or her first double, sorry.
Own about 50 feet or so for birdie. Yeah, left side catch.
Yeah, hopefully this is a nice little momentum shift for Own.
Yeah, who doesn't love a big ol' slow mez on the very difficult hole 6?
Nice. Ooh.
Cool shot.
Owen was one of only 2 birdies today, the other by Lucky Lorenzen. No one was able to get to circle 1 in regulation. Both were circle 2 putts or outside.
See if Raven can save a par. She already did this once today. Ooh.
Yes.
Okay. Putter is on for Raven Klein.
Looking super solid.
Missy gonna move to 3 over through 6. Becomes a very mental battle now. That really is a pet cemetery. It says spread your pet's ashes there, which is cute. But literally today I heard someone say, not the pet cemetery mid-throw, and I died. It was so funny.
Beth at 69.
I just told myself, you just got to will this one in there. Whatever you have, just will it in there.
This man is unbelievable. This is what athletes live for. This is the moment.
Hole 7, another par 4. This one uphill the whole way. This tee shot is super tight. You have this first gap to hit and then this second gap after going across out of bounds. Catch any of those trees, you can kick right and find the OB. Most players landing right in this area, and you have to decide whether you want to throw a forehand or a backhand up this pretty steep fairway. Lots of guardian trees as you move up, but one very true gap to hit. I like a forehand flex. A backhand works great as well. You see a lot of shots going past the basket and having to come back. Deanne opting for the backhand off the tee.
Beautiful shot. I like the backhand. Such a demanding second shot here. Deanne using every bit of the fairway on the right. You kind of have to get it there.
Bogey free 3 down for Deanne right now.
And this is a great feeling one. Really have to pipe 2 very accurate, very straight shots.
Rebecca Cox also opting for the backhand. She's like a magician with a backhand in the woods.
So fun to watch. And she grew up playing this course, so very comfortable in these woods.
2 perfect backhands just outside the bullseye for Rebecca to go 1 down on the day so far. She was on my card, obviously. She threw the disc like a genius all day. It was so fun to watch. Back to the feature card, Owen Scoggins, top of the box, going forehand here. And that's perfect. Whoa.
Yeah, so good.
That's farther than we see most forehands landing. She is going to be a little pinched on the left side, but that's fine.
So much power, which is not something you necessarily need on this hole, but it sure is fun.
So surprised to see Holyn go backhand, but she's good at it.
I don't know. I like it. I like the backhand.
I feel like forehand is like dummy proof here.
Well, Raven with a little backhand turnover also.
Beautiful.
So good.
Oh, Missy catching the last tree in the second gap, kicking straight right. Thankfully, she stays safe. That is wild because that thing was moving.
Yeah.
Just going to have to pitch out from there.
But a chance to save par.
God, Missy having to work for her money today. God. What a great third shot. That's so good. Super awesome scramble.
Yeah, great recovery.
Sometimes your putts are on the second shot.
Holyn pinched here. Probably going to have to rely on some ground play. And so close. But she's going to catch a tree. Hopefully an easy par. Raven in about as good as positioning as you're ever going to get on hole 7. Pulls it, though. Kind of first unforced error we've seen from her. Yeah, I don't know. She's made some great saves, but that was definitely avoidable.
Owen trying to work a hyzer around the corner.
Dang.
Yeah, I think even though it sets up nicely ideally, the hyzer is hard right there. It's you're throwing directly at that line of trees. There's just no room for error at all. Nice pitch up from Raven. Looks like we're going to bar a throw in here from Holyn Handley. We're going to have a round of pars from our lead for feature card. Oh, wait. Owen's still in range. My bad. I thought she was further away.
She's got a chance here.
Oh.
Good run.
Only Owen can make an Anheuser putt still dead straight.
Missy with a great par save there.
Yeah, what a recovery. Even though there were only 8 birdies on hole 7 today, it's still played as one of the easiest holes. It's so crazy.
That is
It
crazy.
explains how difficult Idlewild is.
Yeah, in one blurb. Round of pars there.
Moving on to the first par 5.
It's the second par 5.
The second par 5.
The shortest par 5 on tour, arguably.
And still one of the hardest.
Deanne Carey leading the way 3 down through 7. Hole 8. The second par 5, 576 feet. You can throw a backhand kind of at the right side, and hyzer, you usually end up right around here. You can also get big distance with a forehand flex. Early anything is a disaster. Second shot, you want to try to progress into this gap if you can just a bit and make it an easy sidearm pitch up. It's easy. Just
It's so easy.
only 576 feet. You think it would be so easy, but it is a couple of tough lines. 2 separate tunnels.
Here's a check-in with Rebecca Cox on the Chase feature card. She throws a really great backhand, trickles over to the left side, but she's far enough down there that she's not going to have to worry about hitting any gap. However, this tree was in her backswing. She was thinking about it. Almost pushes up into that second gap. A really technical forehand. She gets through that last corner tree and is on the green for birdie, making it look easy.
This is one that I always wonder if there's going to be eagles because it's
There could be.
so short. But I'm double checking before I
Yeah,
open my mouth.
no, there definitely can be eagles. There also can be quads. It's really, really wild.
It is wild. Last year, no eagles.
We're going to do another check-in with Owen Scoggins. That's a massive drive.
Yeah, and it could have been even bigger. Love the flex forehand. It's a scary shot.
Ooh, we're watching Holyn Handley too. Oh,
I thought you were doing a bit.
I wasn't. I'm sorry.
I'm checking in with Raven Klein now.
From yet another card. Everyone's playing this hole really well.
Raven going to be on the right side. It can be tough to scramble from over there. And Missy Gannon even.
So glad we got to catch up with her.
Oh, she's going to kick fairly early on the left. Missy working really hard this round.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I know exactly where she is.
Yeah, look at this. She has a bit of a gap, working the sidearm. It's a good out.
Yeah, she can still recover a par.
Oh, man. Okay, I don't love being over here, but lacing this teeny gap on the right side feels awesome. Dang it, because it's hard.
It is so hard. Holyn almost gets out, but she's going to be so pinched on her third.
Raven a bit farther than Holyn.
Yeah,
Gonna
she's
try
way
the
down there.
backhand. Yeah. Oh, yes.
Okay.
And Raven, one of the best in the game at these turning shots. That was gorgeous.
I'm blown away by that.
Yeah, she's down there for a long eagle look from the rough. That would be a scramble eagle if she puts that in.
Yeah, that was truly unbelievable. Missy trying to do something similar, gets slammed down by a tree, but thankfully she's just a couple steps out of circle too.
Yeah, great forward progression from Missy. Should be a par save. Owen with a phenomenal drive here. Definitely trying to get to the pin with another flex forehand. Wow. Wow.
This is her second shot, right? She's in eagle land.
Yeah, she is.
Inside the circle. Yeah, let's watch it again. God, her drive was farther than I even thought.
Yeah.
Just perfect shot. She didn't get lucky or anything. She did lace the absolute fairway.
You got 2 looks at eagle.
Crazy.
Holyn really pinched here and trying to get all the way down there on her third is going to catch a pretty early tree. And there's room to work over here, but not much.
Yeah, you have to throw it soft, which is where you start making errors on a little approach forehand. And this is where strokes can stack up on this right side.
Missy left with something similar here. Makes it through. Really nice work from Missy on this one.
It's also really easy to go deep here. Those shrubs behind the basket get really low, and if your disc goes too far back in there, you can't really get a putt. It's a very weird place to be.
Raven, 4 eagle, definitely running it. Her body didn't let her.
No.
I guarantee she was trying to run that. I'll ask her tomorrow or today.
That looked like no.
Yeah. I think her face said, well, I was trying to run it, but I didn't.
Come on, Owen.
Oh, with the eagle.
Yes.
Flex forehand ×2.
No, you said there was
Easy
no
eagle.
eagles last year.
Yeah, that I'm pretty sure. 90%.
And she is the only one today.
Thing of beauty. Moving to 3 down through 8 with that.
Yeah, there were only 9 birdies. So to get an eagle is wild.
And that was a pretty easy putt too. Like
Yeah,
I would have
she's inside
guessed
the circle.
an eagle we would see like
A
something
circle
like
two.
Ravens.
Yeah.
Raven still with the birdie and a bogey-free 3 down so far. Phenomenal.
God, getting an eagle on a hole where there's only 9 birdies is blowing my mind.
Clutch. Oh, and jumping into a tie for first with Raven. Pretty cool to see our feature card playing so well overall.
And wrapping up the front 9 with this very short par 3. This is so fun. Backhand or forehand both work. I like the forehand that pushes this last little shrubby tree on the left-hand side, coming in hopefully with not too big of a skip because you can easily find that right side rough, but thankfully it is not out of bounds. You're allowed to scramble from everywhere in the woods here. Let's watch Sarah Hokum on hole 9. Little mobile check-in.
Oh, I figured it had to be if it was from a phone. Skip ace.
The ace reaction sounds are always so funny.
So good. Man, that's cool. I'm glad we got to see that.
Yes, I like her little mind blown reaction.
I, for once, agree with Madison. The forehand's the play here. Even Raven Klein, who's predominantly backhand, trusting the sidearm, and that looks great.
That does look great.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
It's a little soft forehand. It gets some beautiful skip.
And that was... Oh, it's a Lucid Chameleon verdict. But on the last hole, she threw a Raven Klein Tour Series Chameleon Escape, so check that out. Gets you eagle bids.
Yeah, go buy some Raven discs. Missy Gannon not able to get through that initial gap.
Drops to an okay spot. Not great, but might have something. And here's why I don't like the backhand. It is really easy to make this mistake, and it is truly unrealistic.
That never happens.
To think you're going to get through there. Yeah, Holyn definitely getting away with one. Missy with a small tunnel to work with going sidearm.
She's really getting some practice in on her little step out sidearms right now.
Yeah, and she does catch a tree, but she'll have a putt. Maybe even a close one for a par save.
Oh, and also a little early, a little chip sidearm here.
Beautiful.
I'm so surprised. There was only 6 birdies on hole 9.
I think, especially with the sidearm, even if you lace the line, it's a fast green.
Yeah.
It's hard to park the hole. You usually have a putt, and it's pretty obstructed, too, with all the trees.
Holyn's stoked to have a putt. It is very downhill with a low ceiling.
Good looking run. Good looking lunge.
Looking strong.
Yeah. Raven for another birdie to move to 4 down. Splashes out. Stays close, though. This is another one where you see some pretty mean rollaways.
Oh, and able to save the par after hitting early. Only 11 people got to circle 1 in regulation. Again, there was only 6 birdies, and then the 1 ace that we got to watch.
Missy with another bogey moving to a +4. We should mention, for those of you paying more attention on hole 4 than we did, there is kind of a dispute on the score that is still being discussed for Missy Gannon. There is a possibility there will be some penalty strokes added, but it's not settled yet, so we're not fully going to talk about it. Go ahead and speculate all you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like she threw 6 strokes. Threw 7 strokes, but marked it as a 6. We will see what happens. We don't know anything yet. Well, we don't really know anything ever anyway.
Oh, yeah.
We're just here.
Welcome.
Someone put a mic in front of our face and recorded. But yeah, no, looks like right now to be in the top 10, you got to be right around even par. Look at that huge tie. The front 9 definitely plays a little bit tighter. The back 9 is where we see a lot more big numbers.
Yeah.
But thankfully, again, like we said, some nice calm conditions. And so I think we're going to see some more birdies as well. 2
of our ladies from the feature card, Raven Klein and Scoggins, in a tie for first.
Yes.
Pretty cool. Come join us on the back 9. I'm Erika Stinchcomb.
I'm Madison Walker. We're your 2 hockeys.
Honk.